Hello everyone, this is Shannon for Waffle Flower Crafts. In today's video, we are going to combine contact paper masks with ink blending to create single layer cards that have lots of dimension. To start, I have Waffle Flower's Nesting Hearts die set. This die set has 7 hearts in it, and I'm going to die cut these hearts out of some contact paper. This is clear contact paper, so it doesn't have a print on it. And if you're unfamiliar with contact paper, it's typically used to line shelves or drawers. I just cut a piece off of the roll here, just about the size of my die cutting plate so it could fit through my machine. And I'm going to arrange as many of these heart dies as I can onto this strip of contact paper, and I am using some purple tape to kind of hold them in place while I run them through my machine. I was able to get 5 hearts die cut out of this paper, but I'll cut the other 2 out of another strip. And as you can see, the hearts, the dies cut beautifully through the contact paper, and I went ahead and die cut the remaining 2. So now I have all 7 of my hearts here, and I'm just gonna pull them out so you can see them. And you want to make sure you keep them in order so you can tell which is which when you start doing your ink blending. Now I have an A2 panel of white cardstock here on my water media mat, and I am now positioning the heart dies as best as I can, centered one inside of the other. This is going to help me figure out where to place the very first contact paper heart, the tiniest heart in this set. Now that I've got all my hearts except for the very smallest heart die centered, I've grabbed the teeniest contact paper heart. It's in between my fingers right now. I've already removed the backing on it so it is clear looking, because remember, this is clear contact paper. It's important to have clear contact paper for this technique. It's going to help you center your masks because you can see through your mask. It's really awesome. This is why I love using contact paper for masks. And you can find clear contact paper on Amazon. So now that I have my mask set down onto my cardstock, I can start ink blending. I'm using a Waffle Flower dye ink here. It's called Tickled Pink. It's a nice light pink, and I'm going to be very light-handed when I blend this because this is going to be my lightest layer. I am blending on Waffle Flower's water media mat. I love to ink blend on this mat because I can tap off my excess ink to the side in that large surface area of the mat. So I went ahead and removed that tiny heart mask. I grabbed the next mask in the series, so the one that's a little bit larger than this, and now I'm going to ink blend again with the same color. This second layer is going to result in a little bit darker pink than our first layer, and because we placed that mask down, that mask is going to trap a little bit of that lighter pink layer that we just did, and we're now going to have 2 hearts. So I'll remove the mask here, and you can see we have that white heart from the very beginning, and now our lighter pink heart. Now I'm going to place the next mask in this series right on top here. As you can see, it's really easy to get it centered and in the right spot thanks to this clear contact paper. I am moving on to another color now. This is Waffle Flower's My Pleasure, a nice kind of corally red color. Again, I'm being kind of light-handed here because I do want to do a couple layers with this ink, so I'm starting a little bit lighter, but this is going to result in a darker pink than before, and you'll see here when I remove the mask, we are getting more and more layers. Here's the next contact paper mask. I'll just center it here, and I can pick it up, as you can see, pretty easily if I didn't get it quite right in the center. And I am using a Cricut tool to just kind of press that mask down. That's probably a little unnecessary. You could just use your finger, but if you want to really make sure that mask is stuck down, you can use something like a spatula or a putty knife to really press that contact paper mask down, but it's not really necessary. So I ink blend one more time with the My Pleasure. Now I'm on my 3rd layer with My Pleasure, and I'll pick that up here, and you can see I'm getting lots of layers really starting to pop. I'm going to grab a next heart in my series. This is the second to last. I just center it here, and I'll grab my little Cricut tool to kind of press it all down. And then I'm going to move on to my 3rd and final color, which is a distress ink. This is Barn Door. Blend all over, remove the mask. Again, we're creating so many layers. I just love using this technique with these nesting dies, especially the nesting dies that Waffle Flower has. The rectangles dies I want to try next. There are so many dies in that set. With this nesting hearts, there were 7 dies, which is just awesome. The more dies you have in a nesting set, the more obviously layers you're going to get, and I think the cooler the effect. So I used the barn door one more time and darkened it up a little bit more, and that's my final ink blending layer. I'll now hold it to the camera so you can get a good look at all those layers. I just used 3 inks for this, a pink, a medium red, and a darker red. And you want to make sure you save those contact paper masks because you can actually reuse them. So save them on the backing that you peeled off when you before you stuck it down. So now I'm going to stamp a sentiment here using my MISTI. The sentiment is from the bold sentiment stamp set. It says thank you from the bottom of my heart, which I think is perfect with this nesting heart ink blended background that we created. And I just stamped it in VersaFine Onyx Black, and now I'm going to finish my card by adhering it onto a A2 top folding card base turned onto its side. I did trim down my heart panel just a little bit, so there's a little bit less than about 1/8 of an inch border all around the panel, and that's just going to leave a little nice white border, which I think kind of also helps to make that very center heart, which is white, kind of pop even more. So I think it just adds to the illusion. And I just used some liquid glue to glue the panel down onto the card base, and that will complete my card. Again, I'll hold it to the camera so you can get a good look at all these layers. Lots of depth from this card, and it's only a single layer card, which is pretty cool. I have a couple other examples to show you. Here's one where I did it vertically instead of horizontally. I really like the look of that one too. And then this last example I have to show you, I used different colors. I used yellow and a couple of blues. So just think about if you're going to use different colored inks, think about how colors layer on top of each other, because these are dye inks, they're translucent. So if you were to layer a red and a green, you're going to get kind of brown. So just think about using analogous colors that are next to each other on the color wheel instead. I hope you guys enjoyed today's cards and video. If you want any more information on the products I use, please visit Waffle Flower, and you can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for more creative ideas. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.